DNA and the living truth of God, the code of creation. Stay tuned. What is DNA? I'm not a scientist or anything alike, so I cannot exactly tell you what it is scientifically or any relation to it in a scientific base, but I can tell you through my own wisdom, knowledge, and experience as a living human, a living awakened human, living the truth of God. And so, as it is, I receive downloads and I upload myself every moment I can to the truth of God. This is not anything religious or anything near that, so be relaxed and appreciate the observation of one's body, mind, and spirit, wisdom, knowledge, and experience, and not judge by the simple fact that if you judge, you're judging yourself, because we are all one. So I'm here just to inform you my WKE, which is wisdom, knowledge, and experience, into the DNA. Everything that is related to DNA and how it really works and what it means in a higher terms of truth. DNA is the key code of creation, of God, represented in physical form. It does not exist any DNA which is spiritual, even though this DNA is spiritual itself, but represented physically. But spiritually, there is no DNA. Mind, there is no DNA. All is connected to this physical DNA form. But even if you don't exist in a physical body, there is no DNA that it's gonna attach the spiritual form of energy into it. So spirituality still exists without this DNA. So DNA is just a representation, a physical manifestation, representation of this spirituality. But it does not exist in the higher realms, such as spiritual realm. So, what is DNA? DNA, as I said, that is a physical representation of the higher realms of energy. But what that has to do with our life right now? And how to interact with it, and how to interact with the DNA in a way that you understand it and you use it in your own way of life. So DNA was and is and always will be the highest physical form of God, which is the DNA of God. it is the code of creation. It's like a higher form of technology, the highest form of technology, which God has designed us, and it is like the chip of God. So it's like the God implant of creation, not in a brainwashed Illuminati way, in a higher truth way. So it is the implant of truth, of knowledge, wisdom, experience, love, everything is deposited on this DNA code. It is a code of God, the key code of God, of creation. So we were created through DNA. How we can certify that? I don't know. It's just, it is. It is what it is. Sometimes you cannot prove scientifically, but you can know that it is that. So each one's body, mind, and spirit connection have the answer within. So I'm always going within through my knowledge, wisdom, and experience. That's how I get these downloads, through the within. So I achieve certain parts of my within to achieve this and conquer these realms of perception and perspective of life. And then I recreate who I really am and share with the oneness, which is we are all one. So DNA is not only the code creation of God, but it is also the responsible for everything that we are. DNA is so sacred and yet fragile to everything that we are every single moment. DNA is the primal cord that we have connected to God. So everything that you are right now is connected to the DNA. So everything that you are eating, drinking, thinking, having emotions of, feelings, and your actions and reactions and thoughts and everything, every single thing, what you are breathing right now, what you are seeing, what you are hearing, all connects yourself to DNA. So DNA contains all your memory of everything, all your past lives, afterlives, past, future, present, even if they do not exist, they contain all information of your being, of your multidimensional being, all the truth, all the information that you are seeking. All your subconscious mind-based, all your unconscious mind-based, and all your consciousness mind-based, all your chakras, all existence is inside of the physical manifestation of the DNA. Even though you can say, yeah, but they still didn't certify that. You don't need certification bullshit. You need to know who you really are and what works for you in knowledge, wisdom, and experience. So I can experience this, what I'm saying, because I know that is the truth through wisdom and knowledge, and the experience is what I'm experiencing right now. So that's why I'm sharing with you. I can tell you that they have been changing our DNA. How? If I told you just now that all what we interact with creates our DNA, I can tell you that they have been changing our DNA, because we were once fully awakened to our highest maximum potential as a high evolved being. And now we have decreased so much. So how it is possible that we do not remember who we really are? Because we are not being able to access fully our DNA, to access this information. So, all our seeking relies on our DNA. So, they have been changing our DNA through everything that we consume. So, they have made us consuming human being and not a living, awakened human being. So they have transformed our DNA from awakened living beings to a consume sick society that we are now. So everything you consume goes to your DNA. So if you are consuming dead corpse of animals, meats, and all the suffering, you are becoming that in your DNA. So you are cutting connections of who you really are. Now imagine that is not, we are very strong, we are very powerful, so it's not one action in a whole lifetime that it's gonna really change our DNA. Now imagine 50 lives, 50 lifetimes, constantly forgetting who you really are and constantly consuming something that transforms your DNA. So you are constantly cutting the connections of the source of God, of who you really are. So the more you stay far from it, from the truth, the more you forget who you really are. Till a point where you are really, really, really deep in the dark, away from the light. And you are like totally forgotten of who you really are. You have denied so much for so long who you are that you have forgotten who you really are. And that's how your DNA and what they have been doing with our DNA in the late times, since the time we were fully awakened till now. So everything that they have restored in a way of control, mind control, they have changed our DNA. For example, you go to the school. They are already changing your DNA since you go to the school. Since about everything you eat, since everything, they have changed all the products from what is natural to chemical, to mind control based. They can change ingredients in a way that is gonna interact directly with your DNA and change it in a way that they want to become comfortable. So for example, by putting fluoride into your water and you are constantly drinking, they will start to change your DNA through that process so that you become more fragile in your mind based, so that they can interact more in your being, so that you become more self-controlled by them. So that's how they change your DNA in a long term. Sometimes you don't change your DNA from one moment to other, but internally your DNA is constantly changing. It doesn't remain forever. Do you know that if you can fully achieve the 100% potential of your DNA connection, do you know that you are able to regrow bone and like mutate in a way like a chameleon and like infinitive ways? You can become an air particle if you want through your DNA process of connection. The more you connect to your DNA, the more you connect to the infinite realm of perception as God, so that you will be able to do things that you never believed before, because DNA contains all the God information. Do you ever ask how it is possible that this exists and this and this and this and this and this, you don't have answers to all the questions. That's how powerful your DNA is. You also do not have answers to all the questions that you have about your DNA. But it is there. Just because you don't have the answer doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists, but you are not aware of it. So this information that I am giving you right now is to give you the awareness of how powerful is our DNA, the importance of it, and how you can interact with it. DNA contains all the information you need to transcend your ego, illusions, and your karma. I believe and I feel that we are inside a karmic contract. They have made a contract, karma, with us, so that we are inside this contract that as long as we don't get release or complete or get rid of this karma, we're going to be blocked in our energy field because our perception has been changed by them. So if we change our perception about life and about who we really are, that means our DNA also changed. And they tell us there's the genetics, which you take from your father and mother and like thousands of connections, but yeah, this can be true. But also, if it's true, then you are also able to change right now who you once were. So it doesn't mean that you were born in a way that you will always remain in this way. You choose everything that happens and you are the one responsible to recreate your own life as you really wish to be. So by the awareness of how life works and how we really are created, you can start to change your perception. What once was for you impossible, today is possible. Why? If once it was impossible, how it is possible that now is possible? It's because of one's perception. Once you change your perception, you can change the whole life, also your own being. I'm now accessing this information and how to use it better to restore my teeth. I believe I can restore my teeth, but I have to overcome my ego, illusions, and karma. Because they have been telling us that we never regrow new teeth, for example. Only one time and then that's finished. But this is what they have put into us to change our DNA. So we have lived all this time with the perception that it's impossible to regrow teeth, so that you tell to your DNA, you told so much to your DNA that this is not possible, that your DNA accepted as not possible. So once you start to change your perception, that once you thought it was impossible and now it's possible, you do exactly the same thing for the teeth or wherever you want to create. And that's how God is living within us. We are a perception. Once you open your perception to higher realms of perception about truth, truth is actually what you create to be, and not what they told you or what they tell you that it is. Just because you experience pain by launching a rock to your head, for example, let's say somebody launches a rock to your head and you get hurt, just because that happened, it doesn't mean that it is the truth that always when somebody is gonna throw you a rock, small stone, on your head, it's gonna hurt. You can recreate that in a way that makes you the truth. There's people that can break stones with their hands without getting hurt, because they have recreated the thought and the feeling and everything that assimilates pain and the limitation of that it's not possible, they have overcame all of that. So they have changed their DNA information about that, and they have recreated in the way that they wish to be. And so that's what's happened. They changed the DNA. So even if they were born in a way that you break your hand on the stones, if you try to punch them and break them, they have came that from the genetics, right? So their genetic said that it is not possible. But now it is possible. So how? Because they changed their DNA information. Because God lives inside DNA. So once you access it, you can change it through many ways. There's infinite ways on how to change. We are just not aware of it. So don't block yourself by knowledge, wisdom, and experience. Only experience alone, it doesn't tell you the entire truth. Wisdom alone doesn't tell you the entire truth. Knowledge alone doesn't tell you the entire truth. Always use the whole of everything. Connect experience with wisdom and knowledge, information, which is knowledge and wisdom. So all as one. Don't just be like blocked your mind, perception, from something that you have experienced that it is not. Recreate that to be that it is possible. Every single move, recreate. Some people has asked me in my Locus Motivus meditation music channel something that I have written there that doesn't make any sense at all, and I'm crazy and it's all bullshit. I just said, my music is all about pure ascension. And so for that, let me just tell you exactly so that my channel is all about pure ascension. I take all observations into account, and always with my wisdom, knowledge, and experience, I recreate who I really am and share with the oneness. Now, does this phrase make any sense to you? Or if not, what is your opinion about this? If you can really understand or not. So post in the comment section below and let me know. Because if I am crazy by writing this, that means a lot of things. But this is how God has touched me, because God has manifested to me in a way that I feel God in many, many, many ways of my being. So one of them is things like this. I have written something that comes from God, man. Even if I don't say it comes from me, of course it comes from me. If it comes from God, it comes from me. If it comes from me, it comes from God. It's just that you have to allow yourself to make this connection. I don't feel loseless, a loser, you know. I don't feel a loser. Even if I have not been able already to regrow my teeth, or to fly, or to jump high enough, I don't know, to teleport, to do things like that. I don't feel myself loser. I just feel myself every single moment connecting even more and understanding even more who I really am and how to use all the information I gather to recreate who I really am. So this is what it's all about. DNA is all about wisdom, knowledge, experience. To recreate, DNA exists for you to recreate who you really are and share with the oneness. Because DNA is not only related to you, it's related to every single being. DNA exists beyond physical, as it is a connection, interconnection of all living beings. You can access telepathy through accessing your DNA information and know how you do it. So it's beyond physical, because telepathy doesn't require physical interaction to do it, but you are still using your body. So you can access the DNA information and do things like this. So that's why I have written this. Shit, I think it has stopped my recording, but then I will use the mic of the camera. So I think that's all for now. This is an awareness, to become aware video, for you to know that you are able to access higher realms of perception through DNA understanding and interaction. This is a code to access. It's like a computer. You can access deeper information and deeper and deeper. Internet, you can go very deep. So we are that. We are a code. And if you can access the code of DNA, you can live the higher realm of yourself by increasing your perception in multiple ways. I want to share with you a mudra that can overcome ego, illusions, and karma. This is a very powerful mudra. I will put in the video just now the name of this mudra. You unite your individual soul, which is the index finger, with the thumb finger, which is the supreme soul, and the others stay like this. And then you lie this connection over your knees in a meditation pose position, like this. And then breathe deeply and observe your breathing, and concentrate in just your breath by observation, and focus in your central point in front of you. This will allow you to open the channel of energy between your individual soul and your supreme soul, and make the connection. So if you do this connection and overcome ego, illusions, and karma, I feel that it will allow you to access your DNA. Because your supreme soul is also an information inside your DNA. So you are not being able to access your DNA consciously. So if you access and make the connection between your individual soul to your supreme soul, you will also be able to access higher realms of perception, which is recreating your DNA code information. So search about this mudra if you can. Otherwise, comment in the section below and I will let you know more information about this mudra, because I have a whole book of mudras. And that's all for now. And I wish you the highest recreation of who you really are through your DNA code of God. And my name is Ivo Artur. This is WAAO Love. We are all one. Gratefulness for existence. Namaste.